Good afternoon, everybody. This is Pastor Charlie. It is Wednesday, the 10th of June, and I'm here with your Keeping Connected video. I wanted to share with you today about my friend Glenn. Some of you will have read the tribute that I wrote to Glenn last week. I shared it on my social media. Some of you will wonder who on earth I'm talking about. Glenn was a friend and a mentor in my life over the last 20 years or so. He was one of those souls that when you got to spend time with him, time itself seemed to stop. You could just sit there and talk and chat and listen to one another for hours on end and not notice the time whiling away. He was also a gifted soul in that he seemed to be able to make time for everybody. There was never a moment when I would walk into his office or call him to arrange a meeting that he wouldn't make that space for that conversation to happen. Glenn was a soul who was full of life and full of love, and of course he was full of God. He was a theologian with very few who in Ireland were on a par with him. Widely read, well thought through, gentle, kind and gracious in his manner and in his conversation. Glenn tragically passed away last Wednesday night, through the night in his sleep, and his funeral took place today. So my thoughts are with him, and that's probably why I'm sharing that with you today. I think a lot in these days about what Glenn might try to teach me in terms of all of the differences and the conversations that we've been having in our nation and throughout the world in recent days and in recent times indeed. And when Glenn thought about how difficult it was for people to have conversations, one of the things that he used to say was this. He said, far too often, this is an argument to be won rather than a relationship to be built. He went on to say that we can make that change if we can find ways of having good conversation, good dialogue, and friendship. I've been spending a lot of time talking to many of you in recent days. Because of the events going on around us, there's lots of conversation to be had. When I find myself looking at the world through a different lens than through maybe one conversation partner, I've found the ability to sit and to listen, to talk back when I have the opportunity, but to make sure that undergirding the entire conversation is a spirit of friendship, a spirit of kindness, and a spirit of a deep, deep desire together to live in a better world. I'm pretty sure that that was part of the vision of God in sending his son Jesus to the world. Jesus who reached out across boundaries to talk to those who maybe seemed a little bit different or maybe seemed like those that he shouldn't have talked to. I think of the woman at the well. I think of the centurion who came to Jesus and asked that he might heal the centurion's servant. These are relationships that maybe should not have been, but in the heart of God was a deep desire to have relationship with all people. And so Jesus could cross that boundary to talk with a Roman centurion. Jesus could cross that boundary to talk with a Samaritan woman at the well. My friend Glenn taught me an awful lot about the importance of being able to talk to all people and to listen and to build a foundation together upon which and from which we can move forward. And so today my Keeping Connected is a tribute to Glenn Jordan, a name that is a blessing to me, a name that I am thankful for, a person who was my friend and my mentor. My prayer for you today is that you have friends and mentors in your life that you learn from. And my prayer for you today is that you are able and willing to have good conversation with all manner of people in the world, because it is only in those relationships and conversations that we will find ourselves forward from the moment we find ourselves in now. God bless you and keep you, and I'll see you again on Friday.